All right, greetings educators. We're in chapter 11. As you know, I love this chapter and I've been looking forward to it all semester. I'm an instructional designer and ed tech specialist for the New Mexico State Carlsbad campus. I build online classes and teach instructors how to build online classes. So I'm a techno geek. My degrees are in learning technologies and it's something that I feel passionate about. So let's talk about that passion. As we move into chapter 11, I want you to think about your own experiences in technology. Obviously, since you're taking an online class, you're going to have a different perspective and perception of technology uses in the classroom. You may be more likely to adopt and accept technology of the various kinds to support your classroom instruction as opposed to your fellow teacher next door. This scenario begs you to think about something. What does that mean to your students as opposed to the students in the classroom next door? Okay, who hardly ever get to see technology. Is that okay? Students not having equal access to technology creates a digital divide. Does that mean that we shouldn't deploy technology in our classrooms today so that we can prevent that injustice of unequal access? Please take some time to think about that question in your reflection time when you're taking a walk or driving to work or something like that. This chapter gives you an excellent representation of the issues, disadvantages, and advantages of instituting technology in our schools. My favorite point in the chapter is that technology is not a means to an end in itself. Technology is a tool to help us get to where we want to go. Many policymakers and curriculum leaders fell into the trap of thinking in the early 90s and late 2000s that technology was going to save education. And we see that hasn't been the case. They even thought that maybe it would rejuvenate education. However, we see that Nickleby has had an effect on that. And one of the questions I'd like to ask you is to think about, it's a rhetorical question, is if Nickleby hadn't been implemented, causing many to teach to the test, at the same time that technology was being adopted in this country and exploding across the U.S., would technology have had a bigger impact on student learning performances and other instructional practices? I'm sorry, that email distracted me. Has Nickleby squelched or slowed down technology advancements in school? Would our teachers and student technology uses be more advanced now that would our teacher and student technology uses be more advanced now had Nickleby not been implemented? And would we have a better learning experience had this Nickleby scenario hadn't happened? Sorry. I want to encourage you to explore your textbook where it talks about the Center for Applied Special Technology on page 296. This site is better known as CAST, and I have used this site to learn more about ADA compliance with online learning and technologies and assistive technologies for classroom students. It's an excellent representation of where computer instruction will be heading to in the near future. Although I love technology and am a huge proponent of the uses of technology in education, there's some pitfalls and we have to be aware of those. As the book tells you, there is still a digital divide in this nation and throughout the world. We may have students sitting next to each other in a classroom who have completely different home access. One student may have all the technological advances a family could ever want with the latest gadgets and internet accessibility. However, the next student may not even have a cell phone nor a computer in their home, more or less have the internet. The digital divide issue will affect how you are able to implement technology in your classroom. I mean, think about that for a moment. If you have a student who is highly technologically advanced and the next student sitting next to them has never even had an opportunity to use a computer at home, how are you going to teach to those different levels? Okay. One other pitfall that I would like to talk to you about is the legal and unethical uses of computers and technology our students may become a part of. This week in the news, there was much talk about cyberbullying, and one student who was bullied so badly on the internet in a social site that the student committed suicide. And the media deemed this and labeled this incident bullied to death. And you might remember that. You might have heard some of it. If you haven't, I encourage you to Google it. As a teacher in this situation, you may be faced with this someday. How would you handle it? Another issue that we need to think about as teachers is cheating with technology. In this unit, I have offered you a video called Cheating with Cell Phones. It's in the readings. I encourage you to look at it. It's how different technologies are used to cheat within the classroom, and then also we can think about that in the online medium too. We can transfer that knowledge and that understanding of technology cheating in the online medium also. One of the things that you probably need to know is that the research shows that students who cheat online, the numbers don't show that students cheat online more than students in the face-to-face classroom. They're about the same. And so I've heard many times people say, well, students online cheat more than students in the face-to-face classroom. That's not necessarily the case, and the research isn't showing that. I think if a student cheats, they're going to cheat, and if they don't, they don't. I don't think they're necessarily going to do it on a face-to-face class as opposed to an online class or vice versa. Okay. As a technologist, I can't leave this lecture on a downer, talking about cheating and cyberbullying and all that. So I wanted to show you a little bit about a mini lesson that I thought we could put together about Thomas Jefferson. You'll see it at the end of this module. Take a look at it. It's just a little bit of a use that I think that a little bit of a way that I think that you could use technology in your classroom to present a history lesson on Thomas Jefferson. And remember, this is just a mini lecture. It's not meant to be something that's a mini lesson. It's not something that's meant to be hugely explanatory or anything like that. It's just something that's very small. And if you were going to present a lesson on Thomas Jefferson in your classroom, you would probably go way beyond what I have done here. Also, I want you to remember that when you take a look at the mini lesson that I'm going to create on Thomas Jefferson, I did this in Washington, D.C., and I used a digital camera. And it was very simple. My digital camera has a movie feature on it, and boom, I uploaded it in here and very simply created the lesson around it. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed this chapter. We're almost at the end of the semester. Good luck to you. I'll see you in Chapter 12.